Alrighty, we are going to start my kind of screencast of how I came up with two different methods. These two methods are pretty cool in how they are work, and especially kind of how this first method gives us the flexibility to see um, how even kind of a unit circle works, just so we can see cool triangles that exist, and we can manipulate it pretty easily. So I have my line segment here. To begin with, we are going to go down to this um, reflect around a point. I just want to reflect this line across point B. So now we have two different line segments. They both have the length of 1. I can do that right there. So we can see they both have the length of 1. And then for this next part, we're going to either click circle with center or circle, center, and radius. I'm just going to click this one because it then shows us that both of these are indeed 1 and are on the circle. And here's where kind of using a software like Geogebra gives us the opportunity to manipulate a point so that it can go around a circle and we can find all these equilateral triangles that exist. So I'm just going to click this attach detach point, and I want to detach the circle from point A. It'll kind of shift it up a little bit there. And so what that allows me to do is just kind of move point A anywhere along the circle. And so what this is nice for is like we can make this a 90 degree, we can make it a 45, we can make it a 30. Um, so that's really cool. But for this one, I'm going to actually use an angle measure tool. You can click all 3 points. I just usually click, actually, I will click all 3 points because it did not want to work nice. There we go. And then, because that angle always gets stuck in there, we'll put it out there. So then to get an equilateral triangle, all we really have to do is get this to be 60 degrees. Um, Come on. There we go. And then to complete this, just draw that line. And as you can see, that'll be side length 1. And if we measure this angle, it'll be 60. And if we measure this angle, it'll be 60. So this gives us our equilateral triangle we wanted. So yeah, that's really cool. Like I'll show you, you can kind of move it back. So like we can get kind of a 90 and see that, when we have a 90 with two sides equaling 1, we're going to get the square root of 2 as the hypotenuse, which is really cool to see. So yeah, that will be the first one. Moving on to the second one here, we've got the same kind of setup. And for this one, I'm going to actually use the regular polygon tool. Actually, I'm gonna change that one because I feel like everyone does that. So instead, we are going to eventually use this angle bisector tool, and then we instead are first going to use this angle with a given size measurement. Um, so we are going to kind of click from A to B, and we're just going to enter 120 degrees. It gives us this point B prime. We're going to do the same thing except go from A to B this time. Same thing, 120, rotate it clockwise this way about B. And it gives us these two kind of floating points off into space. Now, what's really cool is using this angle bisector tool right here, we can click these 3 points, and I can click any kind of point here I want, and it's going to give me the bisector of where it would be. So if I did it in between here, you can see that it just kind of spins wherever your mouse goes. So I'm going to click here as my third point. And so what this does is it creates two equal angles about A. So we know that this angle right here is 120. So that means these have to be 60. We're going to do the same exact thing. I'm running out of time here. Go up here. We're going to create a point here. And then we know that this is an equilateral triangle as well. So yeah, those are two different methods on how to build a